Let's go Reed. I'm sorry, Jeff, and then Reed. Go ahead, Jeff.
Jeff Gluck from SBNation.com. Kyle, it seems like, including yourself, some drivers have been cutting back on their personal Nationwide Series stuff, obviously your ownership aside. Do you think that that's helped you at all during this chase, and what will that look like going forward as far as distractions? And then also, getting into this full-time as an owner on the Nationwide side, is there any concern that that'll be somewhat of a distraction to your Cup efforts?
What was the first part of the question?
Cutting back on your driver's pension.
Yeah. Does it help me or not? It's a point to argue at particular tracks. It doesn't matter at Daytona, Talladega, stuff like that. But Indy, I've never run well at Indy before. And we only run Cup cars there. So I'd like to get in a Nationwide car there and work around some different points of interest, if you will, that might help me with my Cup car, where to lift, where to pick up the throttle, those kinds of things. And then, some other places like Kansas, for instance, we ran 5th, 6th, 7th much of the afternoon, finished 11th. Charlotte, I ran both races, finished 2nd in both races. I don't think it really hurts, I don't see the distraction there. I see when you have a good car, when you're able to spend time with your crew chief, obviously that's the most important thing, is being able to talk to Dave. The Nationwide stuff, I've skipped 5 minutes before, I've skipped 10 minutes before if I've been debriefing with Dave. It's not an issue, I don't think, on Nationwide. So, going forward into the ownership role, that's my idea is, to have a foundation of a company that'll run off itself. Rick Hendrick isn't there every single day making sure the inner workings of Hendrick Motorsports work correctly. He's got the people in the right places to do that for him, Marshall Carlson, etc. Joe, when he went off and went to football, we had JD, we had Dean, we had Pern, Todd Meredith, all those guys that help run the company. So that's my idea. That's my idea with KBM just as well. To have Rick Wren, to have our PR department, our marketing department, all that stuff just doing its own deal where it can survive without me there on a daily basis.
Go ahead, Reed.
Reed Spencer with Sporting News. Kyle, you've said several times that it's very tough to find sponsorship without you driving the car. So, is it a safe assumption that you will drive at least some of the races in your own car next year? And how does that affect, will you still continue to drive the 18 car in some races? Yeah,
it's kind of the point to really announce later, but it's safe to assume I'll be running in some Nationwide races at Kyle Busch Motorsports. I will also still commit to my current obligations that I have at JGR and run over there too. So I'll be split between two Nationwide teams, essentially driving some races. So what number that's going to be yet, that's to be decided. Certainly there's we've gone over it with JGR and everything. This is definitely nothing new to those guys. There's certainly the amount of races that I've already been set to run in the Nationwide car for next year with JGR. So we'll still continue to plan all that out into these next few weeks, next few months maybe, before our announcement.
Go ahead, Marty.
Marty Smith, ESPN. Kyle, when we have a tragedy like we saw last weekend at Las Vegas, how does that impact you as a competitor coming back to the racetrack to do your job, especially at a place like this with so many unknowns?
Yeah, certainly. And first off, with that question, I want to send my thoughts and prayers I have and our condolences, Samantha and I, to the Weldon family. We don't know what they're going through. Nobody does. It's certainly a tragic loss and can happen in any form of motorsports. I think that it's a matter of again, you say it a lot, but a matter of circumstances that just don't go your way. It can happen in drag racing. It could happen in NASCAR. It could happen in Indy cars, and it has happened, and it's happened in Formula One. It's inevitable. So certainly we account for that, and there is a danger aspect. There is a threat that something horrifying can happen. But for myself, how do I look at it? I'm thankful that I have a wife that lets me do what I love to do. It's something that I do love to do, that I don't want to give up. And, it's for these guys like Jeff, Carl, Jimmy, all these guys with families now, certainly it's that much more challenging and that much more to think about. And I've got a couple more years probably till I get to that point. But, again, I don't know that much will change then either. It's what we live with every day. There's the aspect too that you could be a kid playing in your front yard and you lose your ball and it rolls across the street and their car comes. So I mean there's tragedy everywhere in this world, and certainly it can be at a racetrack with a lot of hype built around it, but it could just as easily happen in your front yard.
Okay, let's go. Final question with Jim.
Jim Buttershaw, Observer. Just a quick question. How did your truck race with Denny come about?
I asked Denny if he would race the truck for me at Martinsville, and he asked me why I didn't want to run it, and I just said, well, you're better at Martinsville than I am, and it'd sure be nice to win there. And so I just let him drive it. It was nothing special or anything. Just it'll alleviate me of having to run a race on the weekend, obviously, and just letting me focus on the Cup car and keep our chase chances alive. Hopefully, if we get out of here this weekend first, but just planning ahead. That's all.
Kyle, thanks for coming in. Good news that you passed on with us today, and good luck this weekend.
Thank
okay?
you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.